You
rolling.
Gas station.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah. I somebody waiting for your thing.
Shit, you can't find the intersection.
Well, she
Yeah.
called in here, and I just wondered if she had.
Getting a results on that.
Yeah.
You're rolling.
Yeah, we got our first.
It's funny.
We started looking here.
Don't see.
They started widening. I believe it was 2016. It might have been late 2015.
Oh, you know what? It went over here to local storage. So we're gonna go back to the cloud.
Oh, just.
Yeah.
But they will come.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Beth is emailing you a couple of more affidavits. The 2019s were not printed.
Right, I just texted you about them.
Okay, if you can print those, great. If not, let us know and we'll just run them over.
All right, thank you.
Do we have any persons today?
We have a few in town. You know, the one at the house, it's a cloth one, and I wash it like all the time. Yeah. The one I take it, and the one I always forget to leave. I leave it here, and I'm like, oh, gosh, I need to take this home to wash it.
Well, I took mine home to wash it yesterday. I try to wash it like every day, and it's hanging above the washer.
It's really good when you wash it because you're like, oh, this is fresh and smells like Downy, you know.
You're lucky you left at 4:30 yesterday.
Yeah, I understand it was a long afternoon.
9:30 we were still here.
Yeah.
Anyway, got it done.
Valerie, who's on first?
It's going to be case 1518.
Okay.
She has called into the office. She is supposed to be calling into Zoom. We don't see her yet.
So this the 2019 and the 2020 comparison. And in the first one, you hear 2019 when it says somebody sneezes, and then they go, God bless you, or upper God bless you. 2020. You don't feel like really funny.
I heard it good today, so. COVID been the last. The doctor looks at. I should. Just a doctor. Politics.
That's right. I saw that one. It's good. You know, like so, did you say that you knew and like surgery was
Oh, it's a whole big nothing.
a big nothing burger?
If you don't have any, you put this thing over.
Yeah.
your face, you can't see the doctor and the other eyes blocked. But it doesn't hurt. You don't feel
Yeah.
it takes it like minutes. You know?
Next Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing.
But here's what happened to me.
No, I just went double check with Barbara. That only
On
was
one eye, this eye done first. She says to me, what time does the clock say? I said, what clock?
Pops up and shows me if there's a person in the waiting room.
right.
You can't see anything? No, I can't see.
There's no one.
So we looked her up and doctor came back here.
Wonder if I can try to call him.
Started to clear up a little bit. What happened was, you know, I got some fluid behind
Right, I
my,
mean,
something, I don't know.
well, I mean, you could call her and she could
Anyway,
just be on the phone
well, I
there.
went to see the call the next morning.
My thing is that I want to mess her up if she's
It
trying to call in.
happens. It's
by
just,
calling
you know,
her phone,
take
but-
maybe
Yeah.
some drops to put in my eyes, and slowly he'll put about a week to clear up.
That's good.
Second one, I could figure fine, so. But in terms of being uncomfortable.
That's good. Good to hear.
You're going to Corpus, right?
Yes.
But you're not gonna have cataract Jack.
Do I now?
You're not gonna have cataract Jack.
What does that mean? Oh, like Jack, like it's
Jack
Jack?
Dugan.
Oh, no.
Cataract Jack.
Are you having the ones put in? Along the shore, or are you doing?
No, I'm gonna have, I have too much astigmatism, so what I'm going to have, because this one's brought
Well, at first.
on early
Still
on
hasn't
from
shown
my
up on our
macular,
screen
I mean,
there.
from my
I'm
retinal
thinking
detachment.
maybe I should try to
So
call
I
her,
had
see
a
if there's a
blow, I
problem,
had a retinal
or.
detachment, last year.
I'm
Yeah, she's not coming.
And
She hasn't
now
shown
I
up
have
yet. It seems like
cataract
she would have
vision,
by now.
and I'm having to
She
toric.
called in the
Okay,
front.
it takes
Okay.
me my-
You want me to call her from back here, or just go up to the front and call?
And then this
see if she
side, later, I do like, so I
Nice, it's
have,
in one eye, just one cataract.
no, I'm gonna have distance for both. And they're both gonna be corrected for astigmatism, you know, and everything. And at that point, all I'll have is just reading.
That's what I have. I like to wear glasses because I hate putting them on a long time. So the top portion is degraded.
Oh.
And
It's just clear, it's plain old
It's
stuff.
very mild.
She on?
Call,
very mild.
call Val and tell her to stop.
What is she doing?
She's calling the person, and
See if she had
there's
a
people
problem.
on here. I just don't know which person is the person.
Hey, Val. Hang on.
It is immediately two people popped up.
Can I open the meeting?
So, yeah, you can.
Okay.
I mean, you can open a meeting that just we don't have a person in yet.
That's fine.
She stopped.
Okay.
Just take a look.
Just, I just want to see the number and see if this
Opening a
is the
meeting of
person.
the,
Someone else did call in. Okay,
Okay,
good.
just want to make
All
sure
right.
it's the person.
Okay, she's here.
Problem.
opening a meeting of the appraisal review board for 2020. We have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
Department?
Yes,
Good morning.
good morning.
This is Charlie Powers at the appraisal review board. How are you this morning?
I'm all right.
We have some admitted trivia to go through to get started, so just bear with us. We're open.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, we'll turn up the volume a little.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, much better.
Okay, we are opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1518, account number 65955. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the Appraisal District Office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. I'm assuming, ma'am, that we have all of your evidence. Is that correct?
It was just 2 pages of extra property appraisals.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's fine. Thank you.
Can I interject, Mr. Chairman? Because I looked at it did say 2 pages of evidence. There was nothing else with it. And so we assumed that was the affidavit pages. Are you saying there's additional?
Yes, ma'am. There were two property. I took them off of the CAD for Aransas County of my neighbors.
Here.
That was in addition
Yeah,
to the
they're
affidavit.
here.
I'm sorry, I was mistaken.
We have them.
Okay. That's
Okay.
all I have.
Okay, very good. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 21.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and am signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
And I'm Valerie Smith. I'm the notary public, and I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. Ma'am, I'm assuming that you are under oath as you signed the affidavit. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Soto. I do solemnly swear affirm the testimony shall present to the Prison Review Board for the Aransas County Prison District true, correct?
Ma'am, do you hold a Texas appraiser's license?
No, I do not hold a Texas appraiser's license.
Thank you. Do you have in front of you, or can you put your hands on a one-page chart that came with your package called procedures times?
Just a moment, please.
Okay. If you can't find it, we'll walk you through it as we go. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, the one question I have though is, do you want the district to go first or you go first?
What is normal?
There is normal. People choose.
Okay. Sure, I'll go first. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, you have 5 to make your case.
Okay. Our property, we believe, has been unequally appraised. And this is based on the fact that all of the comps that we were sent, they are not equal. And I can list all of the reasons they're not anywhere close to our property if you need that. And also I wanted to make sure that you understood that most all of these properties were rebuilt after the hurricane, but ours was not. And so I consider our house older because of this. So I'll start with the first property on my list was at address number 5, Neptune. It has much less land. It's close to the size of our house, but it has a lot less land. And it does not, the property value that was listed on your piece of paper that you sent me has a different value than that of the Aransas County CAD that states all the appraised property values. 15 Tomahawk Trail, the same thing. It has more land. It has a lot less living space on it. So it doesn't come anywhere close to our house as well. 27 Neptune Drive has more land, quite a bit more land. It has a much bigger house. Their taxes are less by quite a bit. Plus, again, the house value that was listed on CAD is much more than what you guys have it listed. So there's a lot of discrepancies, I guess is what I'm trying to say, in the papers that you sent me as far as the values compared to the online CAD of Aransas County. 3 Neptune, also another one that you sent me, was not comparable because it had a 3-car enclosed garage. It had less land, and it was a much better built house with a bulkhead. I talked to the guys in the office there in Aransas County, and they said that they don't necessarily get to see the backside of the houses and stuff. So I did get in my kayak and went around to look at all of these to compare to see how ours compare to theirs, just so I wasn't talking off my top of my head. The 43 South Lake, it's not even on the water, has no water view, so we don't consider that a comparable. The 420 Main, East Main, is a much bigger house, 3 buildings on it, actually. It has a lot more land. And again, the value that was on your paper compared to the CAD was very, very different. One was 665,000, and the other one was 521,000, and none of these were comparable whatsoever. A much more equitable value could be given by our neighbors. 17 Tomahawk. It does have more land and a little bit more square footage, but yet their taxes are less than ours is. 112 Front Street. It's 4 lots just east of our property. It's on the water again. Another neighbor has much, much more land, more outbuildings, nicer house, and it only has $383.72 more taxes. And so that's where my husband and I are trying to figure out how you value our property, because we've got quite a few houses that are bigger or the property's bigger, and we're still equal or more as far as taxes that you're charging us. So that's where we're at. That's all my evidence is just, it's right in front of me. It's just looking at the properties, going by the properties, seeing the properties, seeing how they are based on their size, their land, their views, and our property is less than theirs. And it's older because we have not rebuilt after the hurricane. So my question is, how do you place a value when it seems that the value of properties, big or small, is all over the place? That's what we don't understand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. District, you have 2 minutes for cross-examination.
Yes, Ms. Hartman, my name is Mike Soto. I represent the district. One of the questions that I had, you mentioned 17 and Tomahawk and 112 Front Street, and you said they would charge less in taxes. Are you looking at the tax bill, or are you talking about the appraised value?
I was pulling it off of the Aransas County CAD.
Again, both of those pieces of information are there, both the taxes and the appraised value. So which one are you talking about?
Okay.
Value?
I don't guess it was the proof equity. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Are you talking about the taxes assessed to each owner? Which,
Well, the information where I got the information from was the Aransas County CAD property details, and I pulled up, the square footage, the size of the lot, the deed history of it, and then their tax values, their estimated tax.
okay, so you're talking about the estimated tax.
And the value, it says, on the Aransas County CAD property detail, it gives you what they appraise the value at, as well as the estimated tax. And I guess I focused more on the size of their lot, the size of their house, and then what taxes they were paying.
Market value. Let's look at 17 Tomahawk and pull that up on our.
Yes, sir.
Tomahawk is one of the ones she mentioned. It's not
Yes,
on.
sir. That was the evidence I sent in to you, and it says the assessed value is $492,210.
Okay, ma'am. Hang on just for a second. So
Okay.
17 Tomahawk has an appraised value of
You're into your presentation.
$492,210.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the other one is 112 Front Street.
Yes, sir.
You don't, I'm assuming. I mean, you don't. That one has a value of $568,360.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to understand. All right, so I'm going to go into my presentation. The subject property last year was appraised at 501. It rolled or basically accrued some depreciation. It's at 497, 740 this year. If you look at our evidence, it's on Indian Cove. It's at 16 Tomahawk. It has currently, it has a land value of 193, and the structure value is 304 and change.
Put the map up so we can see where it is.
Sure.
I have no idea where Tomahawk.
Tomahawk is over by Lamar and Front Street.
It's on Lamar. It's in Lamar. Yes, sir.
You need to let him do his presentation, okay? You'll get a chance
Oh, I'm sorry.
later.
I didn't know that was happening. Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
So this is Main Street or State Park Road. This is where it breaks off into Front Street. This is the little dip right here, and this is in the evidence. This is where it's located. So it's a waterfront property overlooking Coconut Bay. I'm sorry, Aransas Bay. What we have as far as comp sales, we didn't have a lot of sales in that area. You can see that we had to kind of go back in time just because there was not a lot of activity. When you get right down to it, there's not a lot of properties along that stretch. And property owner is correct. The first one is not even a waterfront. It's not even a waterfront property, but we put it in there to show you what another 5 FB sold for off the water. And that was sold for 330. The biggest difference between those two is, of course, the land element. So there's a large adjustment for that. When that one's appropriately adjusted with the subject property, produces a value of 493,928. Comp number 2 is on the water, and so when you're looking on Main Street, that was that street coming in right before Tomahawk. This is an actual sale that occurred. It occurred late in 18, but it sold for 695. So it gives you a sense of what is another waterfront property on this same stretch. What does it kind of go for? Well, this one sold for 695. Again, you look at the subject, it's a 5 FB. You look at the comp, it's a 5 BS. Which would you rather have a hardy plank home, or would you rather have a vinyl sided home? And in the marketplace, we show that, hey, the fiberboard home is the one that the people react positively to. You can see that it's bigger than the subject, and there's an adjustment for that. When you look at how it's compared, it produces a value of 521. The last comp is on Neptune. Now, Neptune is an area, this particular one on Neptune, I believe, is on the canal on Neptune, 5 Neptune. Can we pull that up on pictometry just to see? It's account number 28725. Okay, so this one's on the bay as well. So this one's on the bay as well. It's a little slice. It's a little pie-shaped house right at the corner. That gives you a sense of what is a small singular lot on that bay side, and it sold for 289. Again, it's closer in value to the land element, but it's less of a house, and it's over 1,000 square feet less as far as the living space. When appropriately adjusted, it produces a value of 460. You can see that the median value that's produced is 493, which supports, it actually warrants a small change here of about $4,000 just from a sales standpoint. But it gets better for the subject property owner, because even in our equity grid, you can actually see that on our equity grid, there's even a larger warranted change, because our median equity value is 482. I guess I'll just summarize with that. I'll use all my other time later. But 482 is where it should be.
And you have 2 minutes to cross-examine Mike.
Ma'am?
Hello?
Yes, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine the district.
Okay, I could barely hear him. all I can tell you is that our house is not equal to any of these comparables by a long shot, mostly because most of these were rebuilt recently. Ours was not. We don't have a garage. We have a carport, and the size of our land is not anywhere near any of these others except for my next door neighbor.
Okay, anything else you want to add?
No, sir. It's just it's very difficult to understand because you've got some kind of formula that none of the homeowners have to see what our property, how you're evaluating our property when you're using means and stats and stuff like that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Mike, can you kind of explain this to her, how you adjust it out? And also about the effective year on the buildings? I think that's important for her to understand.
Right. Yes, ma'am. So in relation to actual year and effective year, an actual year build is going to be the first time that a house was built. An effective year is going to be a change based on any remodeling event. And you testified that you didn't do anything to your house. And I want to point out that we don't have any change. We have 2011, 2011, which means those are both equal, which means the original build is actually what we don't show you having a remodel. Further,
Yes.
I agree. You know, like in principle, she's saying, hey, listen, there's a lot of statistics here. It's kind of hard to understand. And all she can do is point to 17 Tomahawk. And that's it.
Well, if you explain how the year built and the effective year, how you kind of get to that number.
Oh, the effective year for other comparable sales is based on remodeling events by those individuals. And you've said what we know is that those have been remodeled, or some of those have been remodeled. Yours has not. So your effective year and your actual year actually match. And in some of those other years, they're actually different, which means that they would have remodeled at some point in time. And most probably hurricane. What the subject property owner has indicated is that 492, which is 17 Tomahawk next door, you know, she's not trying to, you know, she's not looking at any of these statistics. She's just trying to make comparisons. And what we're saying is that we make comparisons on a much more detailed level because we're looking at each element that they have. Like the subject property owner actually indicated, hey, we don't have a garage, we just have a carport. Yeah, we note that, and we actually look at the difference. So where you have somebody that actually has a garage, there's an adjustment made. Now, when you look at the equity grid, we're actually agreeing with the property owner.
I'll give you 2 more minutes as you're explaining.
Okay, and this, I think this is her time, but I mean, but yeah, we're actually agreeing with the property owner that this should be reduced down to 482, 516. Did I answer some of your questions, ma'am?
Sort of. Yeah. I feel like next time if I ever do this again, I've got to be there in person because I just am not getting enough out of the phone conversation to make it still doesn't make sense, because why can somebody have twice as much land and a bigger house if it's you know, similar in value is what I would say with the way it looks, and yet our taxes are the same even though we don't have nearly the property or as nearly the size of house.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, the one on Front Street that I put in my
112 Front Street.
I'm sorry, it's a 112 Front Street.
Yeah.
I mean, it's significantly more land. I mean, like looking at Google Earth, it's just like huge compared to our property, and yet their taxes are the same, or just a little bit more, but not significantly more.
Yeah, the market value is 568. There's something that's known for the law of diminishing returns. So the most valuable asset along the waterfront is the waterfront portion. And at some point, all the excess land or the rear land or the center land is just not as valuable as the land on the waterfront. So the waterfront is carrying the majority of the weight there. And sometimes they appear to be skewed, but they're proven in the marketplace. I mean, we don't just say what they are. We actually try to analyze it based off of sales. I hope I've answered that.
Do you have anything else you want to add in closing? You have 1 minute.
Yes, I would just like to say that I appreciate y'all taking the time to do this. It's a learning experience for me, but I really do feel like we're paying more taxes than is our fair share. Thank you.
Now the ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate their
He
findings.
gets a minute.
I thought you took a minute. Do you want to have another minute?
Yeah, in summary, what I'd like to say is that there's two things under protest: market value and equity. And in both cases, there was a warranted change. From a market value, instead of 497, where the subject property is assessed, it should have been at 492. But furthermore, in the equity grid, when you compare with other properties and how they're appraised, the median equity value purports that it should be at 482. So you're looking at about a $15,000 change or somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Based on the district's information regarding the median market and equity values exceeding the amount placed on this house, I would recommend that we reduce it to the 482,510.
I agree.
Well, I would like to ask something. I would like to see if her property, the land itself, is being valued the same as her neighbor, number 57593.
Sure, let's take a look.
I believe that's 17 Tomahawk.
We'll pull it up on the screen and we can look at you can look at how many square feet, the price per square foot, and all the rest.
I can't see that, Mike.
Okay, I will tell you, I will just say what it is out loud.
Thank you.
Okay, so is this 17 Tomahawk?
Whatever she called it.
Okay, 17 Tomahawk, yes. 17 Tomahawk has a land value of $274,100. All right, and let's just go into the water and just look at the price per square foot.
How much?
Price per square foot on that waterfront is $20 a square foot.
And on hers, it's, let's see, 20. Am I right? No,
Pull it up on the card.
I'm reading it wrong.
No, you're reading it right. The waterfront portion is $20, and that's the most valuable portion.
Right. Okay.
Area, but the 20 is the same. By the number of square feet times the 20 produces that value right over here.
So 17 Tomahawk is paying $40 a square foot.
No, 17 Tomahawk is paying $20 a square foot. There's two segments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she's paying 20 as well.
That's
So,
correct. Yeah, they're both 20.
all right.
Okay, Ramona, where are you in deliberation?
I would be okay with the 482,500.
Yeah.
I make a motion on number 65955, 16 Tomahawk Trail, that the district has shown that indeed the property, incorrect appraisal, there is an incorrect appraised market value as well as an incorrect appraised ratio exceeding median level of appraisal, and that we are recommending dropping the price from $497,740 to $482,500.
Second,
I'll second that.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Dan, you understand what we did?
You dropped my property value.
Yes, ma'am.
482.
Okay. Okay,
To
500.
482,500.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so will you guys send me another thing telling me what my taxes are?
Well, once you get a order determining protest from this appraisal review board for the value, and then when you get your bill in October, it'll reflect that value with the new. Okay.
Okay. I really appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Closed. Who's next?
Our next case is 1278. Mr. Paul Rula, he is going to Zoom credit, and he's representing Refuge Partners.
And his name is again, what?
Paul Rula, R-U-L-A.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I expected Eamon to come walking in here.
Yeah.
You want me to get it?
Is it a commercial?
Yes.
RV Park.
Yeah, good Damon.
Oh.
I mean, I could do it, but I mean,
No, that's fine. You've been doing it.
all
I'm gonna bring Mr. Rula in.
Are we ready?
Yeah,
sure.
Mr. Rula.
No microphone yet. Still connected.
Microphone's connected.
Mr. Rula?
Yes, how are you?
Fine. This is Charlie Powers at the Appraisal Review Board. We have some administrivia to go through before we get to the heart of the matter, so just bear with us for a little bit. We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1278, now 61295. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. At the table is Charlie Powers, myself. Ramona LeBlanc is on Zoom. Kathy Hoffman and Robert Dayton are here in the conference room. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Paul, do we have all your evidence?
I believe you do.
Very good, thank you. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F and am signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public, and I'm witnessing this LeBlanc signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. Paul, I'm assuming that you're under oath for the duration of this hearing as a result of you signing the affidavit. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear affirm the testimony I shall grants county appraisal.
Paul, do you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have handy the hearing procedure times chart that was page 5 in the document you received?
I'm sorry.
It's called hearing procedures times. It's a page that has 4 columns on it.
Okay, I see it.
Okay, that's how we'll proceed through the hearing. Now, would you like to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
Well, I've presented, I wrote up about a 3/4 page explanation of our exhibits and argument, which I don't know if you've had a chance to review or not.
No, we just opened the
We
package.
just got it.
So,
I guess I would think it might be more efficient if y'all just look at that page, and then I'm happy to amplify on that as necessary. Try to keep it brief and,
okay, well, you have 5 minutes. We'll assume you're going first.
okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Well, if y'all will get that out. I mean, I think the primary argument, I mean, we're making several related arguments to value, right? Which is we've got a lot of deferred maintenance and repair that is needed on this property to bring it up to what I think some of the comparables might be exhibiting in terms of condition. A lot of that is in paving and flat work, but we also have significant drainage issues and utility issues. This is an older property, and it actually went backwards on a lot of those elements during Harvey. Surprisingly, we had a tremendous amount of tree damage. This property, the eye of the storm went right over this property, and as trees went down, they disturbed underground water and sewer and some electric of the utilities, and we're still working to this day to repair those and bring those back. So a large portion of the property has been basically out of service since Harvey. What I've provided to you is a copy of our net operating income profit and loss statement for 2019, reflecting net operating income of just shy of 200. You know what, I've misstated that in the piece, by the way. That's a mistake. That should say $200,000, which so I apologize for that. Gosh, I wish we had $2 million worth of net operating income. And so, and then I provided an exhibit that's very interesting about a very current circumstance reflecting comps and a selling brokerage firm that is trying to convince people that they should use a cap rate as low as 10%. So using that as our guide with our $200,000, I think it's $198,000 NOI, you know, we would value the property at $2 million. And I think there are a lot of other related reasons. Lastly, there's in addition to the drainage issue, there's a significant environmental and minerals problem at the property with the current minerals operator. We provided you with some photographs of those conditions, and we believe those significantly affect value as well.
Current pictures?
We can't understand you, Kathy.
So are these current pictures? Or are they from after the storm?
The flood pictures are from a period of that heavy rain period that stretched starting in 18 and went into all the way through the late spring, early, into April and May of 19 are the dates for those flood pictures, which affected 19 operations, but also just reflect, until we repair that reflects the circumstances when we get these heavy rains, which does impact operations and it has to be repaired. Then the other oil and gas operations are are sometime within 19. Conditions which do change somewhat, but were timely during 19 on the oil and gas issue.
50 seconds left. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to fix that $2 million That should be about 198,000. That was supposed to be 200,000 in the first line of the, I was thinking about where I was trying to get to, and I apologize.
And so you think the value should be around $2 million?
I do, based on, I think the driving element in most cases for valuation of an income property like this by purchasers is a cap rate. And I think the brokerage package reflects that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gibb.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I couldn't hear Kathy, and I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
I just said I would give him 7 minutes for his presentation and cross-examination.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this account is 61295. It's an RV park on the north end of the county, or the peninsula anyway, north of the airport. Last year it was valued at $3,932,732. This year it was valued at $3,932,732. Nothing happened to this park this year. It is in a state of ongoing development after the hurricane. It's just such a big project. There's so many sites on here. There's roads, everything else. It's a really large park, but there's always stuff going on. Big stuff right now. The comps that we have are just sales of other RV parks. We have sale of Oaks. I'm sorry. Whatever the one is at 1202 Mesquite. Woody Acres. And then the one on 174 Ave. And then Shady Oaks, the 1301 Jim Smokehouse. So those land a value of $5,798,966. When adjusted to be like the subject, the number one thing being that the subject has a ton of land. The equity grid just shows that we're treating this park the same as every other park, $1,000 per site. On an equity basis, this park, it's showing that the equity value is significantly higher than it is. And I think that that's because there's already stuff in the account from last year regarding, the deteriorated nature of yeah. Scott, can we see what the cost value was for 19? I remember this was protested last year, and there was damage was taken into consideration. As far as nothing major has changed.
Now, am I supposed to be able to see what exhibits y'all are viewing?
Well, in your packet of evidence that was mailed out to you is everything I'm presenting. It's just our comp grids, our
You're cutting out.
It's the property card and a sales comp grid and the equity grid. It's in the evidence that was mailed out. So yeah, the cost value was $5,850,000.
I'm not sure I got that. But,
yeah, that was the value based on just the number of sites, assuming they're fully operational. And last year there was damage that was explained in both buildings. The land was low in areas and it holds water, and not all the sites were operational. So those adjustments were made last year. And
yeah, I provided you with an updated spreadsheet in the package reflecting, I think, what our let me see what our usage was for 19. And I think we were like 171.
Yeah, so year over year, they're slightly better than they were last year, but it's phenomenal. And there's a ton of work going on. But I mean, I haven't seen anything that says that this park is any different in a major way than it was last year. It was ongoing work, not done yet, in a while. But, this is not
We didn't, okay.
3 million. The notice value is not the full value of the park operating very easy. Everything's just wonderful. That's the value of this park diminished to the state in last year. And it appears that, like I said, their income's gone up a little bit, so that would be a little clue that something has gotten a little better, but nothing major enough for us to make any adjustment this year.
Is this an ARB decision or not?
It was an ARB decision, but it wasn't disagreeable to the district. It was just information that came out in the hearing. It was that was all it was. It was an adjustment to the number of operational spaces and the quality of the buildings. And then there was, I think, we took into consideration that there was a lot of land that floods on a regular basis, creates some access issues.
Do we still have that in their property?
Yes, ma'am, we do. Like I said, nothing has changed from last year. Their notice value is exactly the same as it was last year because it's not any better as far as we know. And it appears like what he's telling us is it isn't any better. It's just the same as it was last year. So that's why it wasn't changed.
Where is that accounted for? The degradation of the property?
It's in
Yeah,
between the cost value and their notice value. Last year, it was given an ARB value of the 3,900,000 something.
So I don't see that on the card.
You won't see the cost value on the card. You could kind of abstract it, I guess.
Well, the card has
Where's the property
physical
card?
percentages on it.
Property card.
Oh, no, it's not going to be in there because it's an ARB. An ARB decision. It's a flat single number. And go to the
Appraisal card, just do print preview.
the one slide, or the one in here. It's a big park, so there's a lot of cards. But if you get the improvement line items, and if you scroll down through them, or I don't actually know how you navigate through this thing.
Here.
Click through it.
You have to, here, let me do. No, you have to, thank you.
Improvement section.
sir, what's the cost to cure for the drainage? How much do they figure it's going to cost?
That's an exhibit. I think we had a number that was right at, let me pull that up.
And is the mineral person, are they going to clean that mess up?
No, that's been going on for 10 years. We've tried everything. The environmental department there in Aransas County has been singularly unhelpful, and we've tried the railroad commission, and we obviously had numerous conversations with the operator, and none of that seems to help. He claims he has, surface rights that are superior to ours. He does whatever he wants, even if he doesn't accommodate us. But he's created an environmental mess. I mean, we're actually looking at potentially bringing a lawsuit on that, and some of the early estimates on that are as much as $2 million damage to the property value.
No.
You have 2 minutes to cross-examine.
I'm sorry.
2 minutes to cross-examine the district.
I'm sorry.
You have 2 minutes to cross-examine the district.
Oh, okay. Well, I think, the district's sort of standing on their argument that this is, that they think it's worth a lot more. Last year, the conversation went off on this issue of just a per site value. And I think in some cases that might be, an okay way to do things, but you've got to take into account the unique attributes of each property. And in the case of this property, it's just one of the oldest properties in the county that operates. It is big, but that bigness, what it does is it increases the operating cost of this property per site dramatically. In fact, in comparison to the one that is being sold on Copano near us, you know, that's a property that has almost no grounds to keep up, much tighter, much higher density site deal. So the running length of electric, water, and sewer that they have to support is much lower. So, you know, I don't want to whine about what we have, but the reality is our costs to operate are significant. I mean, like 2 and 3x higher than some of these other parks per site in order to operate as an RV park, and yet we can't get any more rent. So investors in these things are looking for yield, and that's what the exhibit on cap rates reflects. So to just say it has a per site value, ignoring its physical deficiencies and its problem with environmental and the oil and gas, and its much higher operating cost structure, is to ignore the fact that it's generating $200,000 a year, and most guys want a yield when they invest. So I think the value should be predominantly driven by its yield characteristics.
You have 2 more minutes for rebuttal. Any other information?
Have y'all looked at the spreadsheet or the sheet I sent down with the that, I mean, some of that obviously is, you know, puts the thing underwater, but I mean, part of the problem is this property doesn't have a lot of, very little paving in either its roads or its sites. And so if you actually estimate that to bring it up to some of the modern, you know, the competitive standards in the area, you know, those become really big numbers. And then, and so, you know, if we had those improvements and could be comparable, that would give us a chance to operate maybe on a more even footing. I mean, albeit our grounds number would always be higher, but right now that's not who we are. And so all I'm saying is there's a lot of reasons to believe this property is really almost a piece of dirt that does make some income. And so looking more at its dirt value might be another way to look at this.
Okay. You have any other information?
That's it.
Yeah, so I just want to point out that this park finished is not a $4 million park. It's a $6 to $8 million park. It's huge. There's a ton of land, ton of room for expansion, a ton of ability to make money. The one that was provided as a comp on pure income basis has no room. They filled out their land. They don't have any excess land attributes. They don't have a lot of other buildings. It's pretty much just sites and then like 1 or 2 buildings. And even then, they have like half as many spaces as this one does currently. I mean, not potentially, like currently operating. So, and they're trying to sell their park for over $2 million. So, you know, everything was taken into account last year, and same things that occurred last year. Existing ongoing problems don't everything we do at once. A lot of millions of dollars off the value of this thing.
Remember how much we reduced it?
From 5.8 million to 3.9. That was done. If this thing was being valued at full value, it would be 5.8 million. And I can tell you that from my experience, these large parks, they sell for better than our model show. 5.8 million would be a good deal. This thing's, if it was really done, it would be a $6 to $8 million purchase. Part of it is there's other things with RV parks that people are buying. There's a real estate attribute. There's, you know, I don't know why saying that it costs more utilities. Usually when the park gets bigger, the per site utility costs go down. I don't understand how that works, honestly. I'm just saying that we haven't done anything to this. We're not here to worse than it was back. So making the same problems over and over.
Do you have 1 minute for closing?
I do.
You do, yes.
Well, you know, I don't know that I disagree with council there that if this property were brought up to more commercially comparable standards, it would be worth the numbers, you know, $5-6 million, no problem. But if you look at my estimate of what it would take to get there, it takes all that money to get there. I mean, you've got this thing sprawls around, it's older, it's got a over a $3 million road number to just get paving on the ground. It needs paved sites. I've got a $2 million number for that. And these are numbers we've taken some care to develop. And then we've got water and sewer improvements at 200, drainage at 275. This environmental issue, you know, is a wild card, but definitely affects value. So yeah, the outer limit, but you got to start backing away from that number to pull it back. That's why I'm saying in some ways, this thing has got some value above just its land value, but not a lot in its current state of repair. That's all I'm arguing.
Okay, thank you. I mean, you have 1 minute for closing.
Yeah, closing, just sometimes businesses don't break even in a given year. That does happen. They have expenses. The expenses go towards having an asset that produces income year over year, and you hold it at the end of the year. That's why you can see so many operating statements that show their business is producing negative dollars. You know, the thing is, the park isn't managed with the end of the year. They're going to have like a thing that they're left with. All the money they put in is adding value that they hold in equity in the park. So I will say, you know, it seems like $2 million is a lot of money to spend on concrete and roads, even at this scale.
Well, we didn't spend $2 million.
Oh,
you're talking about if we spend it. No, those would be CapEx numbers. I agree. Those are projected.
yeah. And business, like I said, it's already in
I can't hear you, Raymond.
Sorry, I'm just saying it's already in a diminished state. So the park is already adjusted down considerably because of its condition. I haven't heard anything worse than it was last year. That's all.
Okay, we're through. The ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate. What do you all think?
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking too. The district has shown that their best value is significantly less than either the comparable equity or the sales comparables. I think the diminished state of the property is already
I can't hear you. I can't hear anybody.
He said that, go ahead, say it again.
I'm thinking no change, Ramona. I think that the diminished state of the property has already been factored into the appraisal, and that sales comparables and comparable equity, this property is already way less than those two measures.
What are you thinking, Ramona?
I don't know. I wanted to hear what y'all thought.
Charlie thinks we should leave it as is.
Yeah, we did this last year. We took it down last year for all of these issues.
Okay.
Same issues that we dealt with last year.
I'm fine with leaving it where it is. I agree that's where it should be.
Okay.
Is everybody on board with that?
Yep.
All right, make a motion regarding account 61295 545 on Highway 35 North. Just prove that in relation to incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding median level, that this property is way below both of those averages, and that we made adjustments to this property last year significantly, and recommend that it stay at its current value of $3,932,732.
Second. I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, Paul.
Well, I'm not sure how I feel about not getting any relief. I'm not sure last year was a fair assessment either, but, you know, it's y'all's decision. And by the way, I didn't get those, I didn't get that evidence packet, so you can send that along to me if you would.
So, I mean, we can check the date, but they get mailed out to everybody. To possible.
Well, I'm looking at what I got and I don't have anything on comps.
You have the property ID card and the kind of thing. That is going to be in there. It's looks like a chart, comparison analysis, bunch of lines on it.
I couldn't hear you.
We can't hear you over here.
Oh, I'm just saying it's in whatever it was that was sent to you with the stuff that you got from the district. It's in there. There will be a chart.
Is your address still 4040 Meyerwood Lane?
It is, and I do have the hearing procedure times information.
Okay,
But
that should have been
I
all
don't have
together.
I've got the procedures, but I don't have any so-called evidence packet that I see.
I'll make sure they get it to you, sir.
We'll send you another one.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
They're mailed at the same time. They're mailed at the same day. All right, sir. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
The audio is terrible today.
You can't hear us?
No, half the time I'm in the dark over here.
I agree. I could barely hear the.
Sorry for the audio trouble.
Yeah.
You emailed the order, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. What happened to Ramona?
I'm right here.
Okay. Okay. Well, we don't have any more for the 8:30. We do have somebody that's expected at 10, but we do have 4 affidavits that are not going to appear, and we can start to read those now if you want to.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So that, Scott, so you know, this is account number 25291.
What time is it at?
It'll be on your 3 o'clock docket, and it's
Okay.
1.
Winter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you heard Ramona, but there's a possibility we may get fiber optic. So hopefully next year it'll be better.
About the time we're wrapping this up.
Right.
Well, I'm hoping next year we don't have to do this via Zoom.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of depressing.
We got case 21 here.
Right, on the 3 o'clock docket.
3 o'clock docket.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, because it's an affidavit only. We have some time to do it.
Yeah, good.
That way the end of the day is not quite so rushed. They've indicated that they're not going to appear. So.
There you are. You have the affidavit?
I have it here.
Okay.
I can read it from here.
Okay. Opening a hearing on case ID 2020-21. 25291. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. Present at the table are Robert Dayton, Kathy Hoffman, and Ramona LeBlanc is here via Zoom, and myself. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I do solemnly swear affirm the testimony of self-presented appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
Right. Prior to that, I'm going to read the property protest letter and the things, the items under protest. It looks like the values over market value, values unequal compared with other properties. Exemption was denied, modified, or canceled where applicable. Change in use of ag, appraised land, open space, timber. And the account listed was one of those accounts. So those are the items under protest. For the property owner's affidavit of evidence, the only two things that are marked are value over market value, values unequal compared with other properties. Going to read the taxpayer's affidavit of evidence. It's Andy and Karina Winter. They give their mailing address. It's Key Allegro, Unit 5, Block 25, Lot 16R, account number 25291. Values over market value, values unequal compared with other properties. In the appeal summary section, you have section statement of owner. For 2020, the property owner feels their property is being valued too high and asking the appraisal review board to lower it to $920,155. Please see attached appeal summary. Thank you for your consideration. I do not intend to appear at the hearing. State of Texas, County of Aransas, Alyssa Dempsey, signed before Sandy, and I'm not even going to attempt that last name. All right, so the equal and uniform analysis, or it's an equal and uniform tax comparable property analysis adjusted for 4 Albatross Road. So 4 Albatross is the subject. You can see A, B, C, and D are the accounts or the properties which were compared to the subject. It has the year built, the neighborhood, the improvement square footage, the distance from the subject, the improvement value, the land value. Let's see, there's also, improvement dollar per square foot, the market value, the improvement adjustment dollar per square foot, and the adjusted market value. The other things on the second line are improvement type, grade, condition, extra value, land value, market value, adjustment market value. All right, so in this first grid, you have the subject at 4 Albatross that gives the reference number. You have the year built and the type. You can see that all of the types are A3, which means they're all waterfront. The subject is in Key Allegro, and you can see that all of the comps are in Key Allegro with the exception of 2105 Crescent Drive, and that's in Harbor Oaks. What's presented is the land value for each and their comparisons, and the improvement value for each and their comparisons.
a good illustration is the second to last grid or the second to last column, which says the overall market value. So you can see that the subject is 1,067,860. Comp number 1 or A is 866,280. Comp number 2 or B is 610,400. Comp number C is 921,700. Comp D is 833,830. It does adjustments for their comparison. It's hard to follow, but I believe it's based on there's no condition modifier, so I believe it's based on the square footage. And then there's what's called an adjusted market value that's at the far right-hand column. And so I'm going to read those off respectively: 880, 451, 905, 552, 934, 758, and 1,053,569. It gives the median adjusted uniform equal uniform price per square foot. It says the subject uniform equal improvement value, median improvement price per square foot. And it talks about the land value at 551,750 to give an indicated value of subject uniform and equal at 920,155. This number matches the number that was attested to by the statement of owner in the property owner's affidavit of evidence statement in the first page or second page. On the next page, you see a uniform and equal tax comparable adjustment detail, and you have A, B, C, and D. These are the subject is not on this grid. There's a price per square foot of improvement. There's an improvement adjustment price per square foot. There's a class change price per square foot. Age adjusted price per square foot. An other or NA adjusted price per square foot. An improvement adjustment price per square foot. Adjustment ratio, and an adjusted market value. And it gives the indicated values there. There is a description at the bottom that talks about the improvement adjustment, the age adjustment, and the class adjustment. The next page is the location of the comparables and the subject, A, B, C, and D, and the S for the subject. On the next page, this is the market sales comparable analysis adjusted. So these are properties that are sales, I believe. This is their market analysis, comparable market analysis adjusted. This looks much like the equity grid, but I don't see a sales price.
Next to the last
The
column.
sales price,
Oh, yeah.
next to last column.
Got you. So, okay, yeah, so the subject is on the top line, or top two lines, top two rows. It has 1,067,000. So the very first comp was 140, was the sales price of 140 on Sagebrush. The second one was a $440 sale on Bayshore, which is in Keel Agro.
Where's Statewood?
Sagebrush is in Copano.
I was gonna say.
It's like Copano, not even Ridge, it's Copano K.
I'm going to pick that up.
The third one is on Crescent, which is in Harbor Oaks, 545. And the last one is on Sandpiper. It's in Keel Agro, Unit 1. And there's for all of those, indicated value at the end of 932,520. On the next page, you have the market sales comparable adjustment detail, and again, those are the same. It's very similar to the equity detail, and there's a description at the bottom for the adjustments: improvement, age, time, and classification. The next page is the market sales. The market sales of the subject and A, B, C, and D, and where those are located. That is the subject property owner's affidavit of evidence. And I'll try to answer any questions that I'm not presenting their data other than reading their data. But I'll try to answer any questions you may have about their grids with my cross time. Does anybody have any questions? ARB members, do you have any questions?
I do not.
No, sir.
Okay, in the remainder of my cross time, what I'd like to point out is maybe some differences of the grids and just point out some obvious things. The subject is a 7ST. Although the first three are in Key Allegro, classes are 5SS, 5ST, and 6SS. They're not the same class. Look at the year built. The year built for the subject is much better than the three comps in Key Allegro, 1975, 77, 76. We can look at the effective years of each one of those. The last one is in Crescent, which is in Harbor Oaks. And all I would say is that there's many comparable properties in Key Allegro. I don't know why you'd pick equal and uniform somewhere else. Having said that, when you look at that adjustment, it's by far the greatest gross adjustment. And not gross adjustment, but it has the largest value, which is, again, strange. I wanted to point that it's strange that you would pick one outside of the neighborhood, and yet it has the largest market value. Both of those things are not typical.
It is the most consistent with 1067.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's got the largest value. Yeah, it's got the largest value.
And it's a 7ST.
Yeah, it is. Moving on to the market. Again, the market analysis, two of them, let's see, on the market analysis, two of these are in Key Allegro, but they appear to be like unit 1 or 2. The subject is, unit 5. C is on Crescent. Crescent is Brooks. And the sagebrush is just like a Copano. I mean, that's like the Copano K area. In my opinion, that's not a good market comparison analysis. And so that's what I would say with my cross time. I'm going to go into my evidence. The subject property is on 4 Albatross, and what we have is a 880. Let's see. Last year we had 885. I believe that we still have 8% complete. You can see that it's still only 75% complete even now. So last year it was even less complete. I believe that's where the value change was. It says complete. We left it 75% complete, but removed function. We have on the next page, you can see the location. This is the location of the subject property. And if we could see the larger pictometry imagery there. Yeah, this is one of those pretty cool houses that has the canal, but has the peekaboo views of of Aransas Bay. It's a pretty cool setup on Albatross there. All right, so moving on to our grid in our analysis. What we have 34 Bahama and 60 Curlew. 34 Bahama sold at 1.03 million. 80 Curlew sold at 1.204 million. The subject is currently assessed at 1.067 million. What's important is that I want to show a land element that's there. Pull that back down. The very first comp is just a vacant land sale.
Wow.
It's just vacant land. It sold for $999,300. We have that within $30,000 of that subject of that comp, and so that's just showing you land value. Now, in that land value comp, you can see that comp number one is it's bigger, or it's even better than the subject. So there's a negative adjustment there. It's just showing land value. So comp number two is your first basic comp that says, okay, this is another house. What did this sell for? 1.204 million. Subject is a 7ST. The comp is a 7SS plus. You can see that they're very similar in size. The subject is 4,600 square feet. The comp is 4,100 square feet. There is a difference in effective years, and you can see a negative adjustment there. When you pull that down and you look at the indicated value for that particular comp is 1.274. Continue on. You can see that comp number 3 and 4 are 23 Albatross and 15 Blue Heron. You can see that they sold at 950 and 925 respectively. Scroll down. 1.102 and 1.162 respectively, has an indicated value of 1.32647. Okay. In the equity grid, here's just other properties and how they're currently appraised. 61 Blue Heron, 25 Albatross. We try to find other 7STs. They have indicated values of 1.2 and 1.157 million. It looks like you have one Kingfisher, 10 Kingfisher, again, both in that 7ST class, one 7ST, one 7ST plus. They have indicated values of 1.045, 117, and 1.1 and change. The median equity value is indicated at 1.17. Continue on. And then here you have the sales ratio report at the very end. You can see that our weighted mean is I think that's 0.94. So 94%. All I would say I guess in a summary is that, we used in both the equity grid and the sales grid, we used comps from Key Allegro. We didn't go to Sagebrush. We didn't go to Harbor Oaks. We didn't go anywhere else. It's just probably a stronger grids. There's stronger grids from that standpoint. Although what the subject property owner's agent is purporting for a valuation of 920 based on their uniform and equal property analysis, it seems reasonable in light of the fact that, hey, you're saying, well, 1.067, 920, $150,000 seems kind of reasonable in that standpoint. When you look at that and you look at all the information that's provided, it appears that our grids are better from that standpoint. With that.
I have a question. You said, Mike, that this house, the current market value of $1,067,000, 75% complete.
That's correct.
What would the value of this house be if it was 100% complete?
We can, Scott, if you could put that in the thing and just read the numbers. You already did it? Right there. Right here. What did you do just a minute ago?
Just show me.
Can you show the summary? It would be 1.238460.
That's the whole package land. If that were the case, just on both comp sales and comp equity.
I didn't hear the number. What was the number you gave?
1,238,460.
I think it should stay where it is.
1 million to what?
Yeah. 238,460.
That's if you take the 75% off.
Right.
Not arguing that it's not 75% complete. If it were 100% complete, then its assessed market value would exceed both sales and.
Yeah, but it's not.
Well, I know it's not, but I'm thinking that maybe even with 75% complete on there, that the value of the improvements might be a little high, but it's just my opinion. What do others think?
Well, it's interesting. It's a matter of how you do the arithmetic. Your point is a good one. That if you take the house, take the 75% off and say, now I'm just, I'm appraising the total value of the house, fixed, repaired, blah, blah, blah. And compare that to the comp equity grid, then that number should go to 117, 1,071,071,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
And then you take the
You're not
75.
raising the value of the house?
What?
Could you be raising the value of the house?
But wait, then you take the 75% off.
So
See what I mean? Apply the 75% to the total value, rather than to the
So-
using 75%
Now, what
degraded
was that
value to
number?
compare.
What is that number?
I've got on the equity grid, if you did like the percentage of, like if you used the 238,460 at complete, and then you looked at our grid and looked at the ratio between those two, it's 94%, which in your point would say that there would be a 6% warranted change to the total value. So, I mean, and if you'll allow me, I'll work the sales grid and see what that ratio is as well, which is 1132647. And that's divided by the 1238460. That's 91%. So in both of those cases, so in this percent, that would be a 6% warranted change. In this one, it would be a 9% warranted change, and you can do anything you want.
Okay, so you take a 9% warranted change
What is
From the
take
overall
9%?
to the overall value.
Right.
And then apply the 75%.
No, the 75 is accounted
It's
for.
already in there.
Because if you take the 75 and you make it 100, you're making it at 1.238.
Right.
And so if we were 1.238 and then we had these grids,
Yep.
they purport the 1.132 and the 1.117, and those respectively ratios are producing a 6% and a 9% over.
Right.
And so there's a warranted change in the negative capacity in both ways.
On the total price.
On the total.
Total.
Okay. And then you go back and apply the 75%.
No, he's
No,
already
no, I've
taken
already taken that
75.
into account.
Okay. Okay.
Because the ratio is the for the whole.
What is the 9?
What does that number come out to?
So if you take our number, which we currently have on the subject, if you want the 1067
860.
860 times 91%, that's 971 752.
That's
971, 750.
Yes.
a good number.
I like it.
I like
That's
it.
fine, that's fine.
Yep. And what's different is that in the interim years, we had those adjustments in there because we had so many incomplete. This was one that we didn't have. So it's good. That's good.
Okay, everybody fine with 971, 750?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll make
Yes.
authority account number 2591 Cross Road, in addressing incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding median level of appraisal. And then into consideration and reduce the property from $1,067,860 to $971,750.
Second that.
I second. Oh,
Favor?
I
Aye.
I,
Make a comment about 6 and 7, please.
They were, didn't you say they were under consideration or took them?
I said they were protested, but on the affidavit, they were only first and two, but you need to make a motion that there was no evidence presented.
Okay, there was no evidence presented regarding Q06, exemption was denied, modified, or canceled, and Q07, there's a change in use of land appraised as Ag US.
Second,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
I,
Hearing is closed.
All right, our next case is the 2019. And the property owner is going to phone in. There are two accounts. One is a land account and the other is a mobile account. They're in what we call a homestead group because the land is there, but the mobile is personal property.
It's okay.
On the land.
Is this a 8:30 or 10 o'clock? Or
10
This
o'clock.
is a 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
This is case 1404.
So we had 4 affidavits that we wanted to read. We got through one, and we're gonna stop and do this person, and then we're gonna continue to try to finish the others.
I'm gonna go get some ice. I'll be right back.
Okay,
69912. Is she in? Right.
Okay, did you find what page is it on?
No, I'm not finding it here.
I'm not finding
In the
it.
case list?
It's a 2019.
Right. So it's the two
Oh.
pages in the
the
very
back.
back.
Okay, gotcha.
104, that one is?
Yes, 1404.
Tammy Stewart, okay.
Yeah, she's coming in, you said, or she's coming?
She's on the phone. Wow. They're just hearing. So they'll tell.
Scott there?
Yes,
Or who's she talking to?
me.
Hey, Scott?
Yeah.
I just thought I'd let you know, maybe you can tell everybody else, but when we don't have a person on phone or video, the sound is good, but when we put somebody on there, it cuts out all the time.
Well, it cuts out all the time primarily because when they're on there, they're doing all kinds of other stuff. And every time they touch something, it picks up their microphone and cuts everyone else out. Kind of like the time when the person had the bird in the background, and every time the bird squawked, it cut us out and took over.
Wow.
There's not anything we can do about them. What they can do is kind of what something I know you do from time to time is if you just mute yourself, then you don't have that problem because when you mute yourself, then everyone else is taking over, and because if you're not trying to say something, you just have to remember when you want to talk.
Yeah, I did that yesterday.
If microphone starts picking up other things, like when your printer goes off or you shuffle a paper, it cuts us out.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
It's
We're
Ms.
ready.
Stewart.
Hey, is this your uncle?
Mr. Stewart,
Yes, sir.
this is Charlie Cars at the Appraisal Review Board.
Okay.
We have some administrivia to go through before we get to the heart of the matter, so just
Ms.
bear with us.
Chairman,
Okay.
affidavit was signed by Tammy Stewart.
Uh-huh. Is Tammy there?
This is Tammy.
Oh, okay.
Tammy,
I'll talk.
get to talk. You signed the affidavit, so you're the only one who can speak.
That's correct. I'm the one that signed it.
Yes. So you're the only one who can speak during the hearing. Okay?
That's fine. Yes.
We're opening case ID, a hearing on case ID 2019 1404, account number 69912. Here we are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. At the table are Robert Dayton, Kathy Hopkins, Colin Powers, myself, and Ramona LeBlanc is on via Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do encourage you to take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. The ARB members who are considering your protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I will begin with I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with a person in violation of tax code section 4166F.
I, Beth Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 40.6.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. Tammy,
Yes.
I'm assuming that since you signed the affidavit, you'll be under oath for the duration of this hearing. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Soto. I do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony I shall present to the Prison Review Board for the Aransas County Prison District is true, correct?
That's correct.
Tammy, do you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
Sir, you sound like a robot and everything's garbled. I'm having a really hard time understanding you.
You have an appraiser's license.
No.
Okay. Do you have the hearing procedures times? It's a page that was in the package.
I'm sure I do. I got the whole packet that you folks sent to me.
It should be page 5.
Okay.
Got it?
I got page 5.
Says hearing procedure times.
I don't know. I got a whole stack of pages here. This is page 5.
It'll tell you the district has 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes, you have 2 minutes, the district has 2 minutes.
Yes, I seen that page.
Okay, good. Now, you get to choose whether you go first or whether the district goes first.
You guys can go first.
Okay?
I just want to be clear, the 25 appeal, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I filed the appeal.
Okay. The appeal, we have under question, we have incorrect appraised market value. Appraisal ratio exceeds median level of appraisal. Property should not be taxed. Failure to send required notice. Exemption was denied, modified, canceled. Ag use, open space, or other special appraisal. Property should not be taxed in this appraisal district. Property description is incorrect. Incorrect appraised market value for temporary disaster exemption. To ask, are all of these truly under appeal? Are you really asking about ag value, ma'am?
No, sir.
What street is this on?
So what's under appeal?
I'm appealing the property taxes on my land.
Okay, so
The trailer, you guys have the property appraised way too high. The trailer is a new trailer.
Yeah,
There's no.
Hold on, Tammy.
we just want to clarify what boxes really be checked. Appraisal rate.
Needs to be box number 1.
Okay, the white marks you were talking about, are they on the curbing in some places, or is it in the dirt?
Sorry, I'm at work.
On the curb or the pavement, whichever one we could.
Right?
Box
Tammy?
number 1. Yes. Box.
Okay, I just wanted to start there. I'm gonna go into my evidence. It looks like this is 2501 San Antonio Street. What we have, at 501, this happens to be this particular case, or we 1404. So this is just the land section right here. All we have.
It's the land that I'm protesting.
Thank
You
you, ma'am.
guys got the
Right
price.
now,
That's
right
great.
now, we're,
Thank you.
right now, we're just doing the land. So hold on, he's presenting his case and then you can tell
Okay.
us about your side, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we currently have a value of 21,670. All we have is a piece of concrete, what's called a utility hookup that, for a mobile home or an RV, it's something that's there. And then we have the land value itself. So the summation of all of that is 21,670. So we would ask ourselves, incorrect appraised market value and values may be unequal compared with other properties. We're gonna look into those. And this is 699112. What are the other? This is the this is the pictometry imagery of what's there. If I can just show the actual pictometry so we can see that kind of clearer in color.
I don't know what you're asking.
No, ma'am, we're not. I'm still presenting.
He's just showing us a picture of your land from up above.
Okay.
So this is what's there. We have the concrete, and this is remember, this is a 2019 valuation, so we have to look back at January 1 of 2019 to see what was there. And so it actually seems like there should have been some more things that were there that we didn't have assessed. There's this and this. Now this is in a different account, and we'll wonder, when we get to that, we'll see if this actual thing is. But all we have for this is we have the land, we have the concrete, and we have what's underneath, which is the utility package that provides the electric sewer, or the electric and the septic and the water to this unit right here. So that's all we have assessed right now. All right. So we're going to go into market value. Elements that we have right here are on 18th Street, the subject in San Antonio. This particular thing was just vacant land, sold for $104,500. On Thule Park Drive, there was another one that sold for $35,000. You can see that that in the market value, this is compared to the subject. This is only 19,000 square feet. I'm sorry, if I could.
You can have some more time.
Yeah, because I asked a question of the property owner trying to get the.
2 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. And she can have 2 more minutes. You can see that the subject is 19,000 square feet. Columns number 2 and 3 are only like 71 and 75, and they sold for 35. The subject property is only assessed at 21. 35 and 36,000. Now, notice this Fuqua Street. This is by far right now the most comparable. I don't know what column number 3 is, but we'll get to it in a moment. But this is the most comparable because it's in that same general area. This is 25. This is San Antonio. This is Fuqua. 36,000. It looks like it's just, there was no TP. There was one storage, and therefore this is the most comparable so far. Okay, was there only, go back?
At 3.
Yeah, just the 3. So this is the most comparable right here. This indicated value is 40. The overall value, the median. They're not necessarily. They're just other things in that general area. You can see San Antonio Monkey 16. These are all just that have very little associated with them, just the TP, just land. And this indicated value shows you the same number, 21,670. This right is footage, but it doesn't have TP right here. It says none. It doesn't have the concrete associated with that. Continue on. These are all the in that area for vacant land. vacant land overall. You want all the way to the percent overall for the sales ratio. Just equal time for her to.
Tammy, you have,
Yeah.
have 7 minutes to present. I'm sorry, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine.
I don't know nothing about cross-examining. I sent you guys my pictures. I wrote a little letter about my protest. My land is always underwater. I can't get a concrete road in front of my house. The city says it belongs to the county says it belongs to the city. Got Danny Cox and everybody out there, they said it's nothing more than a pig trail. I got a lot that has not been mowed since I bought the property back in 2007. I got a forest across the street. I got a concrete jungle across the street from me that's always under, he has big construction equipment. I got an RV park in my front yard. I got a neighbor that has a damn porta pot on the corner of 16th and Monkey. They live in a motor home. I got a swamp on the other side of Monkey Road. I got drug dealers that live down my pig trail. You know, I've given you guys my evidence. I don't know how to cross-examine. I'm not an attorney or nothing. I just don't feel like I should be penalized because I got a new trailer. My land is bare. I have no trees. Harvey took every tree I have. I have no plants in my yard. I have literally the concrete slab that was there when I bought the property, and I got the same electric pole that was there before Harvey. All of my little buildings was before Harvey. There has been nothing on my land that has changed with the exception of the new mobile home I put out there, and that's because I had to have my other one crunched because Harvey destroyed my property.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add?
Nope, that just about sums up the last 3 years of my life.
Okay,
History.
fine.
Yeah,
We have 2 minutes.
yeah. What I'd like to say is that in 2018, the subject had a value of 21,060. The property under protest is for 2019, and it has a value of 21,670. So we have very little change, if any. I mean, it basically rolled in valuation. So I think what's hard about this is it's two different accounts. One is the land and one is the mobile home. And I think most of her case is about the mobile home, but I could be wrong about that.
It seems to be the land. And what's surrounding it.
What's around the land? Okay. Let's look at the, she talked about, and then she talked about other negative. Okay, this is at the corner of Monkey and 16th Street. This is the new RV park right over here.
Yes.
This is the kind of the laydown yard that's the construction area. So this over here is the new RV park. She's assessed in similar fashion to these individuals right here. I mean, they're all on the same table. The land really didn't change.
She's talking about a lot of destruction of other properties, drug dealers, all kinds of things in the surrounding
Can you
properties.
zoom out twice?
Yeah, we that's not something we can rule on. While I feel sorry for the homeowner.
We can take it into consideration.
Yeah.
Can we see what, how the land at 69911 is being valued at
You bet.
compared to the subject?
1402. Who's taking care of the no parking sign? Parks and Rec. 10-4. Dispatch, will you get a hold of them? I got one sign down on Cotter Street.
10-4.
You can see that it's on an acre, just like the subject at 26,500 an acre.
You have 2 more minutes.
and the subject is at the same 26,500 an acre. It's identical. On the identical,
So it's being treated the same as our neighbors.
that's correct.
Okay, that would be a second schedule.
Okay. Tammy, you have 2 minutes to present any other information.
I don't have nothing else, guys. I'm just, I'm upset because I feel like I'm being targeted out, and we're all suffering through Harvey together. I mean, this here is just totally unfair. I had to get a new trailer. My property taxes jumped. The lady down there told me that my property value was assessed because I have an electric pole. I have the same electric pole. I don't see any reason for my property taxes to go up. Everybody's in this together, and it just seems like the city of Rockport jumped on everything just as soon as Harvey was over to start protest or start taxing people unfairly. And my property's not like everybody else's property. When it rains, I cannot get out of my property.
Let me ask you.
I have to keep a pickup truck just so I can get out on days that it rains to my job, which is
Tammy?
the first responder. Yes, ma'am.
Tammy, somebody would like to ask
Yeah.
you a question.
Tammy,
Okay. Yes.
the picture number 2, drain my yard. When was that?
Yes, that was taken after Harvey. We had a big flood after Hurricane Harvey. This is not Harvey. It's after Harvey.
After Harvey.
We had a big rain.
Yeah.
16th Street.
The boat barn is rebuilt. You can tell that it was after Harvey.
Okay.
All right. Thank
okay,
you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It may have been in the parking fine, possibly.
Look at the, after like the drive, that's looking at the same vantage point, that's looking east, that's actually the street. So her yard is right of this little, in the ditch next to the street. Or make that point. The biggest thing is that between 2018 and 19, the market value changed very little. I mean, less than $600, $610. And so for the land element, all we had was the concrete, we had the utility package, we had the land itself. That's all we had. And these are 2 different properties from the 2 different parcels. One is a land parcel and one is a mobile home. We're only dealing with the land right now. Both the land and equity support this value. That's what we have.
The mobile home, there's no way to fight that. I got a new mobile home. This in here actually has a serial number, and you guys know exactly what I paid for it.
We're talking about the land.
This,
yeah.
We're going to have another session about the mobile home.
Okay.
1 minute closing on your comments on this.
Tammy, you have 1 minute. Make anything?
Hello. I'm
You have
here.
1 minute, Tammy, to tell us in your final closing.
I just wish that you guys would come down, look at the property, decide whether I need a paved road. I can't get out when it rains. It floods. The water is over 2 feet deep from the road to my little concrete pad. The road floods every time. The city's been out there. They dug the ditch deep. You can't even mow the ditch half the time because it's too deep. You have to actually go out to the road and mow it. It's not even fair to put a property tax on that. I don't have nothing else.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Just get a call back.
what do you call that?
What, I want to.
79.
Test whether.
Begin route. It's gonna be for an alarm, 224 West Cotter Avenue. It's gonna be the Harbor Condo.
Jim, this is.
Yes,
14 will take it.
April 14th.
You're.
Roger 11, 10 8, 10 4, en route.
Ma'am,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So if we
1144.
by 6, do we agree?
we
that-
can't hear over the background that you have going on.
We have to determine that.
I'm sorry, I'm a dispatcher.
Do we agree with that? Ramona?
Okay, guys.
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Ramona?
Thank you. Yes,
Difference is there is,
Do you agree that to rolling back the value to the 60, $10?
$21.60.
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, now,
you probably have handicap parking. You're welcome. Go back.
Did anybody make a motion?
It's a 25-25, so we have to do another calculation, or the ARB has to do another calculation.
okay, the calculation comes up to 28,072 for 33%. So this does not meet the does not
25.
does not meet the test. So it stays the way it is.
Okay.
You want to explain?
That's a loaded question.
Okay, Tammy, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. The way 25-25 works, and 25, the way it works is that we have to first establish the ARB proposed value for the property. And what we did was we took the $610 off and rolled it completely back to the previous amount. And that amount has to be 33% higher than the change that was made by the district has to be 33% higher than that, than our value. And it's too small a change to be recorded. If you want it,
Negative, it's just an fire alarm.
yeah.
Hang on. Is
Tammy,
anybody gonna make a ruling on
Yes.
it?
Okay.
So
Tammy,
just so you're aware.
Yes.
Make a motion.
did you understand what he explained to you?
No, I don't understand it.
Because you filed this as a 25-25D correction, we have to prove that we made an adjustment to it and lowered the price, but it wasn't enough to justify the 25-25. Therefore, we can't do anything but the price where it's $21. You can address this next year and don't do it as 25-25. And
I don't know, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. So I guess I'm just screwed. So.
on this property, regarding property 69912, and addressing
Yes,
the 25 request. The property does not meet the criteria for that, and therefore we have to leave the value at $21,670.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Imagine that.
We have
So-
one more case. Please hold.
Do they need to rule on the other 7 items under protest, equity, and?
The only thing under 2525 is value.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, we asked that question early on.
Yeah, we clarified that. Right. Okay. Opening a hearing. Case ID 2019-1405. Account number 8820647. All ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest. Stated to that effect. Not communicated with another person filed of 46.
I swear that I'm going to the person in tax code section 41.66.
I, Robert Dayton, solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of 1.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Texas Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Okay, Tammy, you're still under
Yes.
oath. You're still under oath for this hearing, okay?
Okay.
My name is Michael Soto. Do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony I shall present to the Prison Review Board for the Aransas County Prison District is true and correct.
Now, this hearing is about the trailer. So do you want to go first or do you want Mike to go first?
There's nothing to say about the trailer. You guys know how much I paid for it.
Yes.
Didn't win the protest on the land, so it's going to be the same for the trailer. So it's going to be the same as it always is. It's the city against me, and I'm a little person. I ain't going to win. So
Do you have anything else to add?
nope, that kind of sums it up.
Mike?
In the cross-examine time,
Give 7 minutes.
yeah, in the cross-examine time, I just need to ask, what did you pay for the trailer, ma'am?
You guys don't have that there?
I'm asking you a question.
I paid 73, I think.
For the record, the subject property owner indicated they paid $73,000. Is that right? $73,000?
Yeah.
$73,000 for the trailer, for the mobile home. For the record, the district has a valuation on the mobile home of $50,000.
Mike, you want to go over the issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the subject property is under a 2525D correction because of the timeliness of the protest. The only thing under protest by default of 2525 is value. I want to say for the record that in looking at the protest form, all of these items were checked: incorrect appraised market value, values unequal compared to the property, failure to require notice, property should not be taxed, not located in the district, failure to exemption was denied, modified, and canceled, ag use, changing use of ag or timber lane, incorrect market value under special appraisal for ag use, and then property description was incorrect. And then under the provide facts, she says value. The improvement value is wrong, shouldn't be punished for something we're having to replace a natural disaster. So in my evidence, what I would say is there was a mobile home. She replaced the mobile home. She's indicated that she paid $73,000 for the mobile home. We currently have a value of $50,000 on the mobile home, And for the record, furthermore, I'd like to say that we don't have any of the other items, any of the other little storages or little things assessed at all. And you know, so I'll present my evidence. The subject property is again at 2501 San Antonio Street in Rockport. You know, what do other mobile homes sell for? Comp number one sold for $110,000. It had land with it, so you have to take the land out. But when appropriately adjusted, renders a value of $64,994. Lago Vista. This is a mobile home. Again, had land with it. You take the land out, produces about 5,060. That one. Another home on record. 183. Now, on comp number 2 and comp number 3, those are better subject. They're double wides. There's an appropriate adjustment for that. They're bigger. One of those. That 183 that it sold for purports a value of 138. 64,994, which supports the value that we have on the subject property at 50,000. From the equity grid, what are some other 618 class mobile homes? How are they currently assessed? You can see that the median equity value is 57,884. So she's being treated equally from a standpoint of what class of this mobile home somewhere in the county, how are those appraised? And you look at all of the element, they produce a value that's 57,884, which supports the value. Mobile homes are a thing that are selling more and more. They're, you know, people would say that they're low value or whatever, but they're in high demand because they're filling a need and there's competition for them, and therefore they produce what's called scarcity in the marketplace, and scarcity is directly related to value. In summary, what I would say is the subject property owners indicated paid 73 for the subject home itself. We currently have a valuation of 50. Through a sales analysis, we've supported that value. I think we supported that value from a sales comparison approach at 64,000, almost 65,000. And from an equity approach, we supported the valuation at 7,884.
Okay, Tammy, you have 4 minutes to question.
I have no questions. I have nothing else to say.
Anything else you want to add at this point?
Nope, it ain't gonna do no good. Didn't do no good with the property, ain't gonna do no good with the house. I paid for the house overpriced, but I paid for it because I have to have a place to live. So.
You have 2 minutes.
Summary, the subject property is under 2525 delta correction. So the main thing under a protest is value. From a market standpoint, the value that we have on the subject property at 50,000 is well supported. That's all I got.
Tammy, you have 1 minute to add anything else for closing?
I don't have nothing, ma'am.
Nothing, okay. District, 1 minute. And ARB, our turn. I think it's easy. I think you have to keep the value out unless you pay. I don't believe we have to do any
It's
calculation.
less than today, and it's less than the market indicates.
That's what I said.
No.
You hear that, Rhonda?
Sorry.
Damn.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Ramona.
Ramona?
Oh, Ramona, I'm sorry. Ramona?
From a sales and equity standpoint, they've got the mobile home a lot less than either one of those. So I think it should stay at the value of 50,000.
Right, and I added that it doesn't, we we don't need to do any calculation for 2525D because it,
And can I call you back in about 2 minutes when I can get to my office?
Because we're not,
Okay.
we're not,
Thank you.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion, property number, account rep number 20647, 2501 San Antonio Street. Regarding the 2525D correction, the appraisal review board has agreed to leave the price at $50,000. Listed for, therefore doesn't qualify for a 2525D correction. And we are going to leave the value at $50,000.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Scott, do you have them, are they still there? Are they on? Are they off?
Oh.
Okay.
Just for a moment.
This is an affidavit.
It is. It's another affidavit from 3 o'clock docket.
Do we not have any more 10 o'clock?
No, that was
No.
10 o'clock.
That was 10 o'clock. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna have 3 more of the ones that we started, affidavit only, so I'm gonna read those into the record. This is account 274, case 274.
Opening hearing on. Wait a minute. No.
That's it.
Where is it? 274. Here it is. Opening a hearing on
Page 5.
2020-274, account 13229. This is a by affidavit only hearing. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members are considering the protest has not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm notary public, and I'm witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael Soto. Do solemnly swear affirm the testimony you shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
District representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
Okay, property owner's affidavit is as such: Anderson Ronnie, Bahia Bay, Unit 1, Block A, Lot 20, account number 13229, values of market values and compare with other properties. The appeal summary is attached, 7 pages. For 2020, the property owner feels that their account is being valued too high and asking the appraisal review board to lower it to $435,341. Please find the attached appeal summary with the sales and unequal report or unequal in U&E report. Thank you for your consideration. I do not intend to appear at the hearing. State of Texas, County Aransas, Alyssa Dempsey, before a notary public by the name of owner and subject property information, account number 13229, Ronnie edX Tracy Anderson. The legal description is Bahia Bay, Unit 1, Block A, Lot 20.
It's at 224 Lands End. It is a condominium and townhouse. It's a residence, A3 family single residence. They have A3 as their state code, it's condominiums, townhouse, but I believe it's a residential property. I'm just gonna read. Land area is 8370, total living area is 2602. It's a 6 ST grade, 1993 year. CAD market value is 167,400. Uniform and equal sales is 167,400. The improvement for the CAD is 326,460. The uniform and equal and sales is 267,941. It gives the improvement price per square foot between 125 and 102.97 for a valuation of 435,341. And it has both the sale market value and the uniform and equal value indicated on both of those. On the next page, you have the uniform and equal tax comparable property analysis, and you have Lands End, and you have the you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. You have those properties or others that presented, and they give the land value, and then they also give the value for the structures. They give the improvement square footages that are listed. They give the actual year built. These are all A3, which are waterfront homes. In this scenario, the subject is a 6 ST minus, and they have 4 MV, 4 MV plus, 4 FB, 5 MV minus, 5 ST, 5 FB. They have another 6 ST minus, 5 BS, 5 SS minus, another 6 ST minus, and another 6 ST minus. Oh, sorry, 5 MV, 6 ST minus, 6 ST, ST minus, 6 ST minus. So of those, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these accounts are in the same classification. You have all of the improvement square footages, like the main living space. I believe that's the main living space. You have the associated land values for each one of those. And then you have what's indicated at the bottom at 441,937 is the uniform and equal tax comparable property analysis. The subject property is currently appraised at 493,860. On the next page, you have a uniform and equal tax comparable adjustment, and it tells you what the adjustments are at the bottom, the improvement, the age, and the class adjustments. The next page is the sales, not the sales, the comparables used. That's a map of the comparables they used. On the next one, you have the market sales compared property analysis adjusted, and these are actual sales. You can see that the sale price, I don't know if the subject was a sale. I don't think it was, but they have a highlight there. It's 493,860 is the actual market value for the subject. The first sale that they have is Port St. Clair at 210. The next one that they have is Starboard Avenue is at 219. The next one that they have here is on Starboard Avenue, which is at 292, 500. Then you have Bayview Drive, that's at 525, and then you have Sandy Cove at 465 and Sierra Sound at 650. They have an indicated value when adjusted at 435, 341.
You can see the market comparable, sales comparable adjustment detail with the adjustments. And then on the next page, you actually see the map associated with this comparable sales and where they were pulled from. That is the property owner's affidavit of evidence. I'll answer any questions that the board has about property owner's affidavit of evidence. Okay. I'll go into my evidence. The subject, the last sale for the subject was $500,000 back in 2017 before the storm. Currently has a valuation of $493. I think, let's see. Last year we had a valuation on the subject property of
$439, $240.
it was $439, $240. It looks like both the land and the improvements went up, probably just due to sales or maybe a percent completeness that was made whole. It's totally complete now. The subject is known as the 6 minus. It's right in the middle of Land's End. Has a total square footage of 2212 and another little main living space of 300. Summation of the 2602. And the sales that we have, we pulled sales from that area. These are all sales. The 4 sales that you see are all within the Bahia Bay neighborhood. And they sold at 485, 452, 420, and 650 respectively. If you go back to comp number 1 and 2, you can see that there's first comp is 465. It's a 5SS plus. It's a little bit it's smaller than the subject, less class than the subject. It's older than the subject, and but it does have some other elements. You know, it's the land value is more than the subject. So there's pluses and minuses that were produced here. It produces a value of 452 and change. The second one is 109 Windjammer. You can see that it's less class than the subject, older than the subject, it's taller than the subject. It produces a value of 503 when compared to the subject. It has a very similar land value. Column number 3 is Windjammer as well. Sold for 420. It's a 6S8. It's older than the subject. It's smaller than the subject. When appropriately adjusted, it produces a value of 477. 506 Sierra Sound is a less class than the subject. It's bigger than the subject, older than the subject. It sold for $650. When appropriately adjusted, there's a value of 576. You can see that the median value that we have for the sales is 490. The subject is currently appraised at 493. There's a small, ever so slight warranted change just from the sales analysis at 490. What we have in the equity grid is we have not necessarily sales, we have other houses. We try to pick up 6S keys, minuses, and you can see that all of these are in the same classification. They all have very similar land values, and they're adjusted if the land value is different. Again, that we try to pull all the same classes. They're adjusted for effective age and the like. You can see that subject property is has a median equity value of 493,744. Again, even this thing warranted change. It's $100 and some odd dollars change, almost $200 change, a warranted change. But in both cases, the sales grid would indicate that there's a warranted change at 533. And that's all the evidence that we have for the subject property.
Okay. Board? Charlie?
Oh, I think they bring it down to 490. What was it, 430?
490, 530.
Yeah, I just made 490, 500.
The sales equity is 493,744. I mean, the equity.
Yeah, but the sale market is lower.
So you
490.
want to bring it down to the market value?
So it would be 490, rounded off to 500, 490, 500.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Robert?
I'm good.
Make a motion on account 13229, 22 land. In addressing incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding the level of appraisal. We find through the district's evidence that the property does in fact, or is in fact lower than the market value, equity appraised market value. And therefore we're recommending lowering the price to 490,500.
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, you need to make a comment about the other two. We were checked.
It wasn't, they weren't on the,
Were they on the protest form? They were. They must have
no,
been.
the 6 and 7 weren't on the protest form, were they?
There was a values exemption was denied, modified, or canceled, or changed on the process form.
So I need to address that.
Yes,
You needed to.
Okay, what was I gonna say?
there was no information. The burden of proof is on the property owner or property owner's agent. There was no information presented that an exemption was denied, modified, or canceled, or that there was no information presented about ag use.
Okay, there was no information presented by the property agent regarding Q06, 7. Exemption was denied, modified, or changed, or canceled, and change in use of the places ag.
Second.
Second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, opening hearing on case ID 2020 276, account number 25246. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work in the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. Our members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F and am signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc's signature via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael. Solemnly swear affirm the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
District representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
I need to see last year's. When you get to. Okay, the property in question is Nelson, William, and Maria. It's Kia Allegro, Unit 5, Block 21, Lot 19, account 25246. Values over market value, values unequal compared with other properties. We have the appeals summary, and number 2 is sales. Property owner, for 2020, the property owner is asking the appraisal review board to lower their 2020 value to $708,005. Please find the attached appeal summary. The UNE report shows the houses in the same neighborhood that are being valued lower than the subject. Please also find 2 houses that are currently for sale nearby the subject where the asking price is still lower per square foot overall than the subject. Subject is about $280 per square foot. Thank you for your consideration. I do not intend to appear at the hearing. Texas, Aransas County, Alyssa Dempsey before Sandra as a notary public. 2020 appeal summary, owner and subject property owner information, account number 25246, Nelson and Maria, William and Maria Nelson. The property address is 16 Blue Heron, Allegro, unit number 5, lot 21, lot 19. It is an A3 state code. Land area is 6434. The total living area is 3226. It's a 7ST minus 1903 original build. We have a CAD market value of land at 476 and change, improvement at 426 and change, for a total appraised value of 902,780. The UNA and sales comparisons yield a market value of 708,005. The uniform and equal value is 766,379, and the market value is 708,005. On the next page, you'll find the uniform and equal tax comparable property analysis adjusted, and you'll see that you have A, B, C all the way through T as the letter T as comparables. Subject to 16 Blue Herons, the 7ST minus currently has a valuation of 902. You'll see that you have, again, all of those comps. Blue Heron, 4 Blue Heron, 19 Blue Heron, 28 Blue Heron, 22 Blue Heron, 10 Blue Heron, 21 Albatross, 35 Blue Heron, 18 Blue Heron, 20 Blue Heron, 29 Albatross, 1 Spoonbill, 14 Blue Heron, 11 Blue Heron, 31 Blue Heron, 12 Blue Heron, 1 Finished Mirror, 26 Curlew, 8 Albatross, 61 Blue Heron, and 21 Albatross. The subject is 7ST, and you have 5SS, 5SS, I'm sorry, 5SS, 5SS minus, 5SS minus, 5SS minus, 5ST, 5SS,
5SS, 5 or 6ST minus, 5SS, 5SS minus, 5ST plus, 6BV minus, 5FB, 6ST minus, 6ST minus, 6ST plus, 7ST. So there's one, 7ST. I'm sorry, 7ST minus, and then 7ST minus, and 7ST minus, and 7ST minus, 7ST minus. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the same classification. In the next column over, you see the improvement square footage. And in the next one, you see the improvement or the distance. The next column, you see the improvement value and the land value accordingly. And in the next column over, you see the improvement price per square foot. And you see the market value. The last thing you see is the adjusted market value column. And then in the summary page on the next page, you'll see a value that's reported at 766,379. On the next page, you'll find the uniform and tax equal comparable details with the aforementioned addresses for the comparables that are used. You'll see the improvement age and class adjustment percentages description at the bottom. And then you'll see the adjusted market values associated on the far right-hand column.
Excuse me, yeah, it's just for clarification. Am I reading this wrong, or where the class adjustment is 0 all the way down? And yet you pointed out that there were different classes used in the comparison.
Right.
So that would appear to be a fundamental flaw in the system.
It appears so, especially when there's a class adjustment, 10% per class difference in the bottom of the description,
but it's not used,
and there's zeros for it. It would appear that that's a flaw.
Okay.
On the next page over, you have the actual map of all of the comparables surrounding the subject. On the next page, you have the actual market sales comparable analysis adjusted. And you have 356 Sagebrush, 1871 Bayshore, 115 Bufflehead, 4 Catalina, and 19 Sandpiper. The respective sell prices are 140, 440, 369, 575, 440. The subject market value, adjusted improvement and extra features plus land adjustment value that's reported by the subject property owner's agent is 708,005. For the record, those classifications locations are as such. Classification is 4B, the subject is 7ST minus. The comp number 1 is 4BS, 5ST. Comp number, or C is a 4BS. Comp D is a 5SS. Comp E is a 4FB plus. There's no adjustment. You see in the next column over the improvement of square footages. In the next column over from that, you see the distance. There's no value modifier for the distance this far away. There's just no value modifier. There is a value for the subject improvement. I'm sorry, for the improvement and the land. And there's a improvement price per square foot that's generated, and then it's applied on the far right hand column, and then it generates, I believe it generates the adjusted sale price that's reported for each one of those comps at 573 for A, 705 for B, 708 for C, 735 for D, and 788 for
F. On the next one over, you'll find the market comparable sales adjustment detail, and you see the price per square foot. And then you see the class adjustment, improvement adjustment, age and time adjustment. But as was previously pointed out, there's no class adjustment. At least there's no indicated value adjustment for the price.
Time adjustment either. I assume that means age.
Well, time adjustment is the time from the sale, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's not age.
It's not age. That's
Okay.
you have to do with something called a paired cell analysis to find what that time adjustment per month.
I was misinterpreting.
Yeah, but they do have an age adjustment, and it doesn't appear that there's any age adjustment. An adjustment 5% for every doubling of size, and it looks like they have that in there. The age adjustment price per square foot they do have. It's all there. On the next page over, you have the comparable sales map and their location. On the page after that, there's 11 Blue Heron. It talks about the lot size, what the square footage is. It looks like this one's on the market at $735. And then on the next page over, you have 9 Curlew, the square footage, and it looks like it's on for the market for $679. $679 is what that one is. So, all right. Try to answer any questions that you have about the subject property owner affidavit evidence.
No questions?
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
Okay. I'm trying to look last year's value, 600,000 was an ARB decision. I'll need to see the property card.
Was it because of damage from the storm?
I can find that out. Okay, so the reason that the value was that way in 19 was because of an 18 decision arbitration, and it was left for whatever elements that they were saying was damaged after the storm. So it's been a 2-year period. That whole thing was removed. We showed it as complete.
So that decision was made in 18, so it's over.
Yeah, that decision was an arbitration, which means that it was outside of this. It was not here. It was outside of this. It was an arbitration, and they decided it should be 600.
That stands for 2 years.
Unless the elements change. So if it stands for 2 years, unless they rebuilt it, it was left in 18 and 19, and now it's not there anymore. Okay, so the subject property is currently assessed at $902,780. We have on the next page, you see the location from the pictometry imagery. What we have from a market value standpoint is we do have all of our sales in Key Allegro. They're not pulled from anywhere else. You can see that the first one is on Bay Shore. It's sold for $650,070. It's also 7 minus, but you can see that it's much smaller than the subject. It's newer than the subject, and those appropriate items are adjusted. The biggest thing that you see between that house and this house is the land value. The land value for the comp was much lower, meaning it's just either smaller or in an area that wasn't as valued. Yeah, it's small. When adjusted that appropriately, that produces a value of $956 and change. Blue Heron, this is right next, it's either next door or across the street. This is 15 blue heron. The subject is 16 blue heron. This sold for $925. This is a 4FB plus. It's I think the monster of a home. This has been looked at by this board in a previous hearing. Again, it sold for $925. Huge house. Although it's less in class, it's got tons of compared to the subject. Those are appropriately adjusted. If you're looking at the value as a whole, when compared to the subject, value of 904. In comp number 3 and comp number 4, we have 50 blue heron, again on the same street, sold for 1.17 million. That is a 7SS, so it's in the same classification, although the exterior siding is different. The very similar land values, you can see 476 to 419 appropriately adjusted. It's newer than the subject property, but it looks like it's smaller than the subject property. When appropriately adjusted for that particular one, you can see that it renders a value of 1.165. The next one is 54 blue heron, again, also on the same street, sold for 1.534 million. It's also in that class 7 kind of house, but it's a SS rather than a stucco. It's a standard siding rather than a stucco. You can see that it's bigger than the subject and it's newer than the subject. Those are appropriately adjusted. You can see they're large adjustments, 128,000, 101,000. It's got more land value than the subject. That's adjusted negatively to 141,000. Even when you look at all those elements, it still produces a value of 1.04 million. When you look at that value and then you compare it to the subject, the median value for the sales are not 985,000. The subject is only appraised at 902. Moving on to equity. Equity, we're pulling only from properties in Key Allegra. We're not going anywhere else. From an equity standpoint, we try to get other 7 STs. You can see the first 2 comps are 7 STs. The last 2 are not, they're not 7 STs, they're lower classifications. But the first 2, again, a very similar land value. You've got the 476 opposed to the 542. That's appropriately adjusted. It's 23 albatross for comp number 1 is, like I said, also another 7 ST. It's got a classification as far as the age. It's newer. There's a modification there. When appropriately adjusted, that renders a value of 928 change. The albatross is another 7 ST minus, just like the subject. It's a little bit smaller than the subject. Very similar land value that's appropriately adjusted. You can see that it's very similar. It's newer than the subject. From an effective standpoint, there's an adjustment there. When appropriately adjusted, renders a value of 925. Comp number 3 is, these are on the same street. They're less classifications than the home subject. It has very similar land value. You can see that the land value is within hundreds of dollars of the subject. The biggest modifier here is class and the size. This comp is both less class and smaller than the subject. There's appropriate adjustments, renders a value of 950. The next one is 5 blue heron, again, also on the same street, very similar land value within $24,000. It's very similar. It's in fact the same age as the subject, very similar in the living area. It's less in class than the subject, and when appropriately adjusted, renders a value of 955 and change. You can see that the median equity value that's purported is 939, which supports the value that we have on the subject at 902. Welcome to answer any questions the board may have.
I see no reason to change this. I mean, with the evidence presented by the protester being flawed the way it is, it really isn't valid.
Right.
I agree.
Everybody's agreed?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, make a motion regarding account number 25246, 16 Blue Heron. And addressing incorrect appraised market value, an appraised ratio exceeding median level. The district has shown that this property falls below both those categories. So leave the value at 90278. And regarding Q06 and Q07, no evidence was presented to address either of those issues, which is exemption was denied, modified, or canceled, and change in use of land appraised as ag.
Second.
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Hearing is closed. And next is,
Right, the last affidavit is case 283.
go ahead, read it.
Beelan. So it looks like we just have a few on the 130 docket, and I believe 3 o'clock docket then is going to be clear.
Okay. This is good.
Yep.
What's today? Is today Wednesday?
Yep. 22nd.
We started after hearings today. I think if we can do that, that would be really good. Because it gives us an extra half day to like ferret out any problems with certification.
Right. And even to run the long process, maybe at the end of the day, you know, that.
Oh, the print part.
Right.
I worry about that, like not watching it and every kind of thing
See?
sometimes. But we walked away from it from lunch last time.
It's just the printing of it. You know, if it goes wrong, then we just realize it the next morning and have to.
Yeah,
do it
that's what
again.
I'm saying, that it gives us a whole nother day to like fix whatever. Like, I don't think there's anything that's gonna go wrong, but, you know, that's good.
Yeah.
So when we use to submit the whole thing, it has to be printed?
No,
Or does it
well,
go electronic?
no, it's electronic. So in the month of April, I have, or maybe it's late March, April, I have to submit to the tax assessor electronic.
Oh, no,
Which
that's
is
for.
Jerry Cox,
your
basically
money.
everything
But
here.
thank
I've got somebody at the mud district, I'm sorry, somebody at the, Lamar Improvement is a different person. I've got somebody over in San Pat, and then I've got a little bit in the waste that I have to submit. So, but what I tell them is I'm gonna submit it by electronic.
Okay.
I have to tell them how I'm gonna do it. We do it that way every year. So yeah, we just do the roll in its entirety in electronic format. We send them the certified totals. And at the time, since you approved the appraisal record the other day, now I'm gonna do certified totals based on what we have in our hand after like all these hearings and say, this is still under review, this is the certified totals, and here's what we got.
Okay.
You know, and I give them that summary, which is this big, but not the roll. Yeah.
The opening hearing on case ID 2020-283. Account number 65052. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. We do not work in the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Robert Davis, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Valerie, oh, I'm sorry.
I, Ramona
Oh, you missed it.
LeBlanc,
Still a curtsy after that.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signed to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
And my name is Val Smith. I'm the notary public who is witnessing this LeBlanc signature, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael Sutters. I do solemnly swear from the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District true and correct.
District representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
Okay, the subject property is Beeler, Marion, Little Bay Shores, number 1, block 1, lot 18R and 20 through 22, account number 65054, values over market value, values unequal compared with other properties. The appeal summary is as such. For 2020, the property owner feels that the value is too high and has asked the appraisal review board to lower it to 667,416. Please see attached. Sales and U and E report. Thank you for your consideration. I do not intend to appear at the hearing in Texas, Aransas County. Alyssa Dempsey before Sandy as the notary public. U and E report. U and E tax comparable property analysis adjusted indicates the subject at 1724 Sorensen. You see that there are A, B, C, D, E, and F. These are primarily from Picton, Cochran, I think Shorewood, that's in Double Oaks as well. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are in Little Bay Shores. 2 of them are in the adjoining neighborhood of Harbor Oaks. The subject is the 5MV Plus. It was built in 2001. You can see that the effective year built, or the actual year built of the adjacent, or the comparable properties are 1980, 1977, 1998, 2005, and 1984. Subject properties 2001. The classification for the subject is the 5MV Plus. The comparables are 3MV, 3MV Plus, 5MV Plus, 5MV Plus, 4FB, 4PS. The square footage of the subject is 2613. The comparables are 1678, 1641, 2984, 1914, 1516, and 1730, respectively. 2 columns over, you'll see the improvement in land values, respectively. If we'll look at the next column over from that, you'll see the market value as a whole. You'll look at the adjusted market value as purported is 667,416 with all of the adjustments. On the next page, you have the uniform and equal tax comparable adjustment detail. Notice the these are all the comps. You have improvement, price per square foot, improvement adjustment, class adjustment, square foot, price per square foot, which indicates no change. Age adjustment, price per square foot, NA adjustment, and improvement adjustment, appraisal ratio, and the adjusted market value. In the next next page, you'll see the map detail of the subject and all its comps. on the next page, you actually see the market sales comparable analysis. On this one, you see A, B, C, D, E, F as your sales comparables. You have Sorenson Drive as the subject, which is in Little Bay Shores. You have Bayward Drive, I believe that's in Country Club. You have Corpus Christi.
David Drive is Harbor Oaks, that's right.
Oh, yeah, it's Harbor Oaks, I'm sorry, Harbor Oaks. Yes, Harbor Oaks, yes. Olympic Drive is in Country Club. Forest Hills is in Country Club. Crescent is in Harbor Oaks. And Highlands Drive, I don't know where that is. I have to look, but we'll find out in a minute. On the next page over, you'll see the, I'm sorry, the purported value that you have there is 704,795. On the next one over, you have the comparable adjustment detail. And on the last page, you actually have the map. All right. I'll answer any questions that you have about the evidence, affidavit of evidence.
No question.
No
right.
question.
All right. Last year's value was based on a settlement between the district and the property owner or property owner. We currently have a value of $843. I want to say for the record, I believe that this value for this property, every bit of it. This is a very unique property in which the house sits on the house behind or Sorenson Drive, but it has adjoining property that's vacant at the corner. You can see at the corner of Picton and Fulton Beach Road. Huge piece of property. Yeah, it's at the corner right here. If you can hit the light, Scott. And zoom in one time. What it was is it was originally just the house at the back end to the west, and it was just the vacant land, and they were owned in two different pieces. Years ago, the subject property owner came and said, how can I help you? Well, if you pull it all in together, you can at least have your homestead and you're over 65, and it kind of protects you. It's probably the best thing you can do. I believe it's valued every bit, every penny worth this amount. Unfortunately, it's so big for the adjustments are so gross that the owner really kind of wins. And you can see this on the comp sales. The subject is currently assessed at 843. Our comp sales indicate that it should be at 749. From an equity standpoint, it's not quite as big because we have 826 rather than 843, but it's just so big that the adjustments don't, I mean, they really work against it. So my position is that it should come down to the 749 just based on the sales comparison approach that we have. But if you were to parcel this out, I'm gonna say go back to the geometry. I'm gonna say if you parcel this out, and when this does happen, this is gonna happen, in my opinion. This piece right up here basically goes from here to here. So this thing is this whole thing sells for $300,000 or $400,000, like pretty easy, in my opinion. It's a quality home right there. This piece alone, this vacant land, that's gonna be, I mean, that's gonna be $500,000. I mean, that's probably on the low end. The summation of those two supports that $8,000 figure we have. So I believe our value's right. Unfortunately, from what you can produce, because it's such an oddball, it's not like this. This is just this. It's not like that because that is just that. It's the summation of the two, and they're getting the benefit from that economy of size when you compare it to the grid. So they kind of win at 749. That's all I got. I mean, I could go through the illustration, but I think that my comps are probably, I don't know. You can ask any question you want to be.
749, 640, 640, or 50.
Ramona, you got any questions for me?
No, I do not. I agree with the sales equity. Sales.
I agree.
Charlie?
I'm good.
Okay, make a motion on account number 650541744 Sorensen Drive. Let me see here. In addressing incorrect appraised market value, we find that this property should be lowered based on the fact of exceeding the appraised median value, market value. Lower the price to $749,650. In addressing appraised ratio exceeding median level, I didn't discuss that, but I assume that it exceeds that or is lower than that. In regarding Q06, exemption was denied, modified, or canceled. And Q07, use of land price as ag. Owner's agent did not present any information to discuss on those two issues.
I
Second,
second it.
okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye,
Aye.
okay.
Yay.
All right. Sounds like a winner.
I had like 3 or 4 ones, but a couple of 3.
Yeah, the ones at 3 we just handed.
No, there's a couple.
No, there's 2 more. There's 2 more.
2 more.
Right. There's 2 more at 3.
There's 2 more at 3. I think 3 or 4 at 1:30 and 2 at 3.
1:30.
Right?
Change exemption denied and change of use, correct?
Mr. Powers, do you want to try and use now or will we come back?
I'll do
Yeah,
it.
please.
It's okay with you.
That is this one.
Yeah,
But they're saying that they said in their motion that
yeah,
this was,
yeah,
it's kind of odd.
yeah. Just a second. Yeah.
They adjusted the value, that's the.
I think you did it right.
I guess I'll see you all at 1:30.
Good.
30.
See you later.